Namaskar, dear students. Welcome you to our channel Bio by Gulab Sir. As a part of series of lectures, today's topic is carbohydrate. In a series of lectures on biomolecules, we learn about biomolecules and separation of organic and inorganic material, amino acids, fats. Now we have to learn about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, they are very important components of living being. Without life cannot be expected, as carbohydrates are energy molecules as well as they are the compound from which many other metabolites are formed. Carbohydrates, as a glucose, we know they are also called as saccharides. This glucose is an energy substance. Also, it forms the structural component like cellulose and chitin. So very important. Even suberin, lignin, they are also very important. Here, these polysaccharides, that they are the organic substances. Why? Because they have carbon and hydrogen in their composition, but they also have oxygen. So carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in a proportion of that with empirical formula CxH2O whole bracket Y. So this is the empirical formula can be used to denote that carbohydrate, means they have carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in its composition. Now, these carbohydrates can be called monosaccharide and polysaccharide, also oligosaccharide. Monosaccharide with 1 unit, oligosaccharide they have 3 to 11 number of monosaccharide in a chain by glycosidic bond, and polysaccharide they have thousands of monosaccharide linked with each other by glycosidic bond. What is glycosidic bond? A bond formed between two subsequent monosaccharide. That is, bond formed between hydroxyl group of two subsequent monosaccharide with the loss of water is called glycosidic bond. And how it formed? Let you observe with this formula, because very important before starting this polysaccharide as a part of the explanation. See, these are the two hydroxyl group of these two monosaccharide. Hydroxyl group of this monosaccharide combined with the loss of water, that what H2O get loose from it, it can be shown like this. So from here, this H2O get lost and O remain as it is, here O. That is what one water molecule get released. So polysaccharide or polymer are always formed by the process of dehydration. In protein also, when two amino acids come together, that amino group of one amino acid combined with carboxyl group of another amino acid with the loss of water, that means dehydration. So all the polymers are always formed with the loss of water. You know that चाशनी जैसे शक्कर या उसको बॉईल किया जाता है तो चाशनी बनती है, that is what with the loss of water, that means it converted into polysaccharide. So here with the loss of water, this polymer, that what starch and cellulose are produced from this glucose. Okay, so glycosidic bond is very important to form the polysaccharide. Now see, here I have written carbohydrate with this classification micromolecules and macromolecules. So who are micromolecule carbohydrate and who are macromolecule carbohydrate, and why they are so called? These are monosaccharide, disaccharide, oligosaccharide, they are called micromolecule, as the definition was very first day we saw when we have started biomolecules, that whose molecular weight is less than 10,000 Dalton unit, they are micromolecule, and those whose molecular weight is more than 10,000 Dalton unit, they are macromolecule. So naturally these have less than 10,000 Dalton unit, therefore they comes under micromolecule. Now, although it is not given as a part of explanation in textbook, but why I have written it, let you have concern with the very first day what we learn biomolecule under the heading biomicromolecule and biomacromolecule. Therefore we must classify carbohydrate also into biomicromolecule and biomacromolecule. Therefore these are micro and this is macro. Why? Because starch are the polymer of glucose, cellulose is the polymer of glucose, chitin is the polymer of N-glucosamine. This is very important. So thousands of that starch has more about 6,000 glucose in a chain, and therefore it has very high molecular weight, and therefore they comes under macromolecule. Okay, you got it. Now continue. Here once again I have written polysaccharide. No doubt monosaccharide is also equally important, and we are going to learn later. They are the polymer of monosaccharide like glucose and fructose. Inulin is the polysaccharide of fructose, and therefore I have written they are the polysaccharide of monomer like glucose and fructose. ग्लूकोज से सेलुलोज एंड स्टार्च बनता है और फ्रुक्टोज से इनुलिन बनता है. it is given in textbook. Inulin is the polymer of fructose, separately written, and it is, yes, very important. Therefore, please concentrate some of these things that they can be asked in NEET. So you must aware about this, that inulin is the polymer of, okay. They are insoluble in water because polymer. They are insoluble in water. They are not sweet in taste. Monomers are sweet in taste. Monomers are soluble in water. But polymers are not soluble in water and not sweet in taste. Their molecular weight is more than 10,000. That is already discussed. They are formed by the polymerization of monomer by glycosidic bond, also discussed. The bond formed between two hydroxyl group with the loss of water, that is known as glycosidic bond, is also discussed, and this formula also shown to you. These were two glucose molecules, C6H12O6. C6H12O6. These are the two glucose molecules written in ring form. Chain form, you know, this is ring form. Okay. Now, here heading monosaccharide. Yes. Carbohydrate does not only always starch and cellulose. There are monosaccharide. This monosaccharide can be triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose, heptose, decose. So here we have written triose, tetrose, pentose and hexose only. What are triose? Triose means three, that they have 3 carbon in a chain. They are triose. Tetrose, they have 4 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pentose, they have 5 carbon. Let you know first why they are so called. And hexose, because they have 6 carbon in a chain. So therefore they are called accordingly tetrose, triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose. Moreover, very important, this monosaccharide are of 2 major types, aldose and ketose. See how I have written. This triose has 3 carbon. It is of 2 types, aldose and ketose. Phosphoglyceraldehyde, that is glyceraldehyde, instead of writing phospho, because we used to write phosphoglyceraldehyde. This glyceraldehyde, aldehyde, has aldose. And this dihydroxyacetone, I have written phosphate, it should not be there because phosphate do not come in carbohydrate. So dihydroxyacetone has ketone. Acetone, ketone. Aldehyde, glyceraldehyde, therefore aldose. So every monosaccharide is of 2 types, aldose and ketose, because of presence of aldehyde and ketone group respectively. So for tetrose is only aldehyde type, and therefore only erythrose is the example. They have no ketose, and therefore it is there. What are pentose? Pentose sugar. These are the ribose and ribulose. Ribose sugar is a part of DNA and RNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid, this is the ribose. That is pentose, is aldose type. Question can be on is NEET. RNA and DNA consist of one of the following carbohydrate. So which carbohydrate? Aldose pentose, ketose pentose, aldose hexose, ketose hexose. ऐसा प्रश्न है. So as pentose also. So pentose ribose is a very important component. It is a part of DNA and RNA. As you know, the deoxyribose and ribonucleic acid. Ribonucleic acid is a RNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid is a DNA. See, pentose is of 2 types, aldose and ketose. Aldose is ribose and ketose is a ribulose. So this ribose has this. This can exist in both, either chain form and ring form. So pentose and hexose, they can exist in chain as well as ring form. What is chain form? This is shown you. This is a chain form. J is a chain form. And what is ring form? Let you understand. These are the ring form. So that you can learn or understand later also. So here this pentose, aldose and ketose. Here this is example. Now hexose, we are familiar with glucose and fructose. Both are monosaccharide. They are hexose. Glucose is aldose hexose and fructose is a ketose hexose. Very simple. Why? Because of aldehyde group and ketone group. Why it is hexose? Because of 6 carbon. Why it is aldose? Because of CHO. Why it is ketose? Because of COO. That is ketone. That's simple. With formula CH2OH, CHOH, 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 CHO. देखो इतना तो सारा सिमिलर है, सिर्फ यहाँ और यहाँ याद रखना है. CH2OH, CHOH, CHOH, CHOH. Here CHOH, C double bond O. Here CHO, CH2. This is the difference. That's what you can remember easily. Okay. Here, as a part of monosaccharide, what we learn, different types of monosaccharide with their subtype aldose and ketose. They are very important. These PGA and DHA, glyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone, is a important component of glycolytic pathway. Erythrose is also part of glycolytic pathway that comes under pentose phosphate pathway, PPP, triple P. This ribose already I discussed with you how they are important for DNA, RNA, and glucose, fructose. They have immense importance in the living being as they are the energies compound and they are the important component of glycolytic pathway of respiration to produce the energy. Okay. Now here polysaccharide. We learn monosaccharide. First of all, how these polysaccharides are produced. This cellulose and starch, they are the major polysaccharides what we learn or we come across when we learn about biomolecules. Cellulose is a polymer of glucose. Starch is also polymer of glucose. Then what is the difference between these two? Very important is that cellulose is a straight chain polymer and starch is a branched polymer, although they are made up of glucose. The major difference is it is a straight chain and it is a branch. How it branch? That I have shown here. Moreover, here you can see that there is a glycosidic bond between first and fourth carbon. Here also glycosidic bond between first and fourth carbon, but arrangement you can see here the arrangement of that glucose unit is different, arrangement is glucose unit is different. What is that arrangement? You have a look. That bond form in a helical manner, zigzag manner. Here it is not zigzag. Here is one side. Here you can see one glycosidic bond like this. Here this. It is again here. It is again here. It is alternately that it is in a zigzag fashion, but here in a straight fashion. But this is a straight chain because it has no branch. It has branch. How branch is produced? That is also important. But very important that polysaccharides are also formed by the glycosidic bond between first and fourth carbon. In both cases you see first and fourth carbon. Here first and fourth carbon. How to count first carbon? Let you know. First carbon always has to be counted from after that oxygen. That carbon which come in that chain is first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Here also see. Here this is oxygen. Then in this direction we have to count first, second, third, fourth and fifth. Here since this is first and this is fourth carbon, that hydroxyl group of first carbon in one monosaccharide combined with fourth carbon of another monosaccharide with the loss of water and form the glycosidic bond. Same here. First carbon of this hydroxyl group from first carbon of this monosaccharide combined with hydroxyl group of fourth carbon from this monosaccharide to form the glycosidic bond. Therefore, we can conclude that these are the polymer formed by the combination of two hydroxyl group from first and fourth position of that chain of glucose unit. Therefore, first and fourth that remember as a NEET or point. How they form the branch? At the sixth position. That CH2OH is present at the sixth position. Hydroxyl group at the sixth position combined with hydroxyl group at the first, here this first, second, third and fourth position, that you please remember. Here this is sixth position and there this is fourth position. First, second, third and fourth. And here sixth position. It form the glycosidic bond and that give branch and then again continue. Another bond form with another monosaccharide with that sixth and fourth position to have this chain, this chain, this chain, and therefore in textbook it is shown like this, and therefore this is a chain form. This is a branch form, and this branch form could hold iodine in it, and therefore it give iodine test. Cellulose they cannot hold or they cannot have that branch, and therefore they cannot hold iodine, and therefore they cannot give iodine test. What is iodine test? When we add iodine in any given material, if it turn into blue black, that is called iodine test. Starch give test. When we add iodine in any starchy material, it turn into blue black, but cellulose do not. That is very important. Now, what are these polymers? Cellulose is straight chain. It is a structural polymer because it forms the cell wall. Chitin is a structural polymer because it forms the exoskeleton of the arthropods. But starch is not a structural polymer. It is a energy source. It is a store form of polymer. Starch and glycogen, starch in plant and glycogen in animal, it is stored as a energy food material. Glycogen stored in liver. You know that insulin convert glucose into glycogen and stored in liver. Like this, that whatever glucose molecule produced during by the photosynthesis, it converted into sucrose, and sucrose then transferred through phloem to the trunk, where that sucrose converted to glucose and later converted to starch and stored in. Therefore, starch is a store form of food material in plant and glycogen is a store form of food material in animal. I hope you got it. How these polysaccharides, cellulose and starch are formed from these monomers by glycosidic bond. See, this bond is on one direction, this bond is in alternate direction. That is very important as a structural part of cellulose and starch, you have to remember. Okay. See, disaccharide as it is, maltose is a disaccharide of two glucose unit and sucrose is a disaccharide of glucose and fructose. So when sucrose form, that glucose and fructose come together, you know where the sucrose is? In fruits, and therefore they are sweet in taste. So sucrose is combination of two monomer, glucose and fructose, and maltose is a combination of two monomer, two glucose unit. Okay. Once again, polysaccharide, what we already discussed, they are the polymer, they are a homopolymer, they are made up of glucose and fructose. They are formed by joining of monosaccharide by glycosidic bond in a chain. In a chain, right end is called reducing end and left end is called, when I am standing like this is right end, that is left end, right end is a reducing and left end is a non-reducing end, that you please remember. But this cellulose starch overall, they are already reduced substance, therefore they cannot further reduce, therefore they can be commonly called as non-reducing. They can oxidize. Why? Because they are already reduced, having carbon and hydrogen in their composition. So they can always oxidize, but further they cannot reduce. Therefore, they are non-reducing. You will find that statement in any reference that they are non-reducing substance. Okay. So they are insoluble in water and non-reducing. Please remember, this one is very, very important, that they are non-reducing. Why? They are already reduced. Further, they cannot reduce. Therefore, they are non-reducing. Now they can oxidize. Okay. Storage polysaccharide, what I told you, glycogen and starch. Structural polysaccharide, cellulose and chitin, already we discussed. Here, cellulose. Some of the characteristics of cellulose, very important. It is a structural polysaccharide. They are polymer of glucose, hence they are called as polysaccharide. Glucose is a sugar, therefore saccharide. It is most abundant organic compound in the living world. Remember, most abundant organic compound. What is the most abundant protein? That also can be asked. In animal world is collagen, and in plant world is ribosco, ribulose, biphosphate, carboxylase, oxygenase. In plant, the abundant protein is ribosco, abundant protein in animal is collagen, but abundant carbohydrate in living world is cellulose. And therefore, as a part of NEET, you please remember this one. It's very important that the most abundant material in the living world is this cellulose. So I write here as a NEET. Please remember this one. Now, it is a straight chain compound, already discussed. It is a homopolymer because it is made up of only one type of monomer glucose. It has about 6,000 units in a chain, and hence this is a macromolecule. Cotton is a natural cellulose and rayon is an artificial cellulose. Please remember this one also, can be asked in NEET. So next polymer is starch. Simple. Again, it is a polymer of glucose. It is a homopolymer, but very important that starch are stored as a storage food in plant. So here we conclude that all the polymers and monomers of carbohydrates with this formula, their structure and functions. So question can be asked, what are carbohydrates? Explain them as a biomicromolecule and biomacromolecule. Also can be asked, write short note on cellulose and starch. Also can be asked, what is inulin? Is a polymer of fructose. Or what is the difference between inulin and cellulose? Inulin, cellulose is made up of glucose, inulin is made up of protein. Why? They are called as, cellulose is called as structural and starch is called as storage. That also can be asked because cellulose is involved in the process of formation of cell wall of the plant, and starch as a store form of food material. Which carbohydrate is a store form of food material in animal? Glycogen. Which carbohydrate is involved in the form of exoskeleton of animal? That is chitin. So please remember, all these polysaccharides are homopolymer and they are insoluble in water and they are not sweet in taste. Moreover, they are non-reducing. These are some common characteristics that you have to remember. I hope you enjoyed today's video, as well as I request you to have repeated visit to this video so as to get confirmed with formula. Sometimes some videos require repeated learning, repeated study. So as I request you to have the repeat video, you can see that video again and again. Even if you are in doubt, you can ask in comment section. I appeal you to subscribe our channel as well as like and share our video. Also, I request you to press bell icon so as to receive notification about new videos. Thank you. Enjoy.